Hi friends, welcome back. And today we are going to discussing about how to set up our page object model in our Water project. Okay, till that we saw for individual scripts, and now we are going to create a small page object model setup. Okay, for the Water. What else we need to do? Here, just we can able to create first pages folder, and then we will create for some result like HTML reports generation and all we can able to create. Then we can able to use for specs. Inside the specs we can create for two things. One is tests, which is the one we are going to run the test, and then we are going to use for library like a unique. We can able to sorry, two things. One is login, which is the pages we are creating, right? Under the pages, like we can create for login page, register page, and account page. Like this we are going to create it, that all the pages tests we are going to create under this, like a login tests, like this we can able to create. And another one is we are going to create for helper class, which is helper class is basically providing for before and after cases, and also generating for HTML report. These are the two functions we are going to create inside the helper class. Okay, and this is a simple one, and we can able to create for one file called Jimmy file. Okay, this is the file we are going to installing our plugins. Why we need to prefer page object model? Basically to reducing the duplicate code. One is the main important why page object model factor we are going to use. This is a reducing the duplicate code. Okay, it will reduce the duplicate code, and also we can able to simply understandable format we can able to create. Okay, wherever the pages it is there, we can able to see that particular page. Page is nothing but if it is a login, login have setup page which we are looking, right? That login page we can able to call it a login, and then page, that specific page all elements we are keeping. Okay, and again all the functions, methods related the stuff we are going to use in the login page. Okay, if it is register and register page, we are creating a set of functions. Those all the functions we are going to use in that particular location. We can able to go immediately and find those things. Okay, this is one kind of a reusable factor, reusable functions type you can able to say. Okay, we can able to create one by one. Okay, now I'm opening for my VS Code. Now see, I have already created for my in the inside my documentation there is a water framework setup. Okay, this is a simple setup. Okay, I'm not going to show you for high level setups. This is a simple setup. Okay, now I'm going to create the first one is pages. Okay, first is pages we are going to create. Okay, and then another one is we can able to say yes, not under this, we can create outside uh, reports, we can call it as reports. Okay, under after that we can create for there is one more of folder is spec. Okay, these are the three files. Okay, and we need to install our main plugins. For this we need to use for Jimmy file. Okay, this is the file we are going to install all our commands. Okay, and what are the things is required? Basically I can able to use source is basically our http s colon double forward slash ruby jimmy file jimmy dot org. Okay, this is the file we can able to say a reference. Okay, jimmy, and first we need to install for water. and then Jimmy we need to install, and there we need to use for RS specs, because we need to run and we need to do assertion, all the things it is required for specs only, RS specs. And then we need to use for Jimmy HTML report purpose, we need to use, right, spec underscore HTML underscore formatter. Okay, and save. Okay, and now I need to install my things. Okay, we need to use that bundle install. Okay, bundle install is basically install our file. Okay, all the things it is installed, you can able to see here achievement, all the things it will be shown. Okay, everything it is installed. Okay, now we can close these two, and our first priority, create a spec file. Okay, helper file. Okay, helper file purpose we need to use here. Inside this we need to create helper dot rb. Okay, there is a helper class, we can able to create what all the things is required here. Requires water. Okay, and here we need to use the directory. Okay, which directory we need to use? First we need to respec dot configuration, and do we need to use, and control I is basically used for you can able to say Copilot, which I have already in that Copilot, right? That Copilot will give you some code. Okay, you can able to say, see, if you use Control I, automatically Copilot will give you some information. Okay, and here based upon that we can able to create. Okay, configuration is nothing but we need to use some configuration browser before and after configuration we need to use. Okay, and here I'm going to use for configuration a dot up before. Okay, and then we can able to use for colon each, for each. Why each we are doing? Because we need to run for every test case time, we need to open a browser and close a browser. Okay, and this we can able to use. See again Copilot, and this time what will happen, it will ask you a question what exactly you want, that based upon that you can able to use, in case if you already configure Copilot. Okay, if you know means not required, we can do. And then we need to use for before at the rate, sorry, browser before we already used, at the rate browser is equal to a water colon browser, then we need to use the new, and then we need to use the Chrome. Okay, this is our Chrome. Okay, now we need to use this particular file for all the places, in case if you want to use to uh, specific file we need to use, right? For that also we can able to use it. Okay, then we need to use for here end, and then we need to use the config dot after. Okay, for after also we need to use for colon each time, and then go do, and then at the rate browser dot close, so close, and then we need to make it as end. Okay, now we are able to end up to here, but it is not completed, right? Why it is not going? This is not closing. Okay, leave it. We need to do for HTML configuration and all, right? For this HTML configuration also we need to do. For this and the last, right, before end, we need to, after that, we need to use here config dot add format. Okay, add formatter, and here we need to use that. We are using for HTML, for that HTML and comma we need to use, and then file dot join. Okay, and then we need to use here which is the result directory. For this result directory, we need to create the we need to find the directory where exactly our directory will be there. Okay, for that I'm going to use for results direct equal to a file dot expand underscore path, and then we need to use for here the single quotation a dot dot. It indicates that our current project location. Inside the current project location I need to use for a reports folder. Okay, reports folder. Okay, and then we need to mark it as a directory. Underscore underscore, actually that one again, underscore underscore twice. Okay, this is basically to identify our directory. Okay, we need to identify the directory. Okay, once we identify the directory, there is a method called direct dot mk directory. What will happen in case if that particular directory is not presented and the specific result place, then use for useless and direct dot exit. If it is there, okay. If it is not there, then we can able to create our file. Okay, that particular folder we are going to create. In case if this particular folder is not presented, we are going to creating that particular folder. Okay, and here we need to use for again, which is a result directory came, that result directory comma, and we need to use for HTML underscore report.html. Okay, now we saved it. Now next one, we need to create my page. I need to create my login page, and here I'm going to create my login underscore page dot rb. Okay, now in this particular location we need to initiate our browser and everything, right? Now here Chrome open, I'll open the Chrome and I will go for Orange HRM application. Okay, this is the one. Okay, wait, and I'm going to create the class. Okay, that is a login page. Okay, and first I'm going to initializing the browser. Okay, initialize the browser, that is a browser. Okay, this will work like a constructor in our Java. Okay, Java, how constructor is working, the similar format here also it will work the same format. Okay, and making that end. Then I need to use for def visit. Visit is basically to browser initiation purpose. We can able to use for browser dot go to, and then we need to specify this particular URL. Okay, and here one more question, like in the helper class we are creating here, right? This particular location also you can able to mark it this particular one. Okay, by default it will what you can say, automatically it will open for every time. Okay, no need to bother about it. Not required to, yeah, all the if it is a register page, again no need to visit this particular page. Automatically it will log in from here as well. Okay, and means it will open the browser. Def login We required for two things. One is password and another one is username. Okay. And now I'm going to use for before dot text underscore field. Okay. This required what kind of field it is. Okay. Now it is a name field is there. Okay. Name colon and the single quotation value. And then I'm going to use for my set and username I'm providing. Okay. The similar format I'm going to use for browser dot text field, and I'm going to providing my password as well. Okay. Name attribute, and then I'm going to provide this one and set password. Okay. And then we need to use for before dot button and the type attribute. Okay, because we have only one particular, that is why I'm going to use for type as a submit, and I'm going to use for click attribute. Okay, this is my click and I'm going to make it as a end. Okay, then I need to use for two functionalities. Okay, one is getting the error message, and I need to get for one, and another one is whether my particular URL got changed or means like logged in or not. We need to verify, right? If I provide the positive, then I need to mark it as a success. If it is fail, then I need to verify the text message. Okay, first we'll verify the text message, and we can use for def error underscore message. Okay, and here I can able to use for at the rate before, and for this error message what I can do, admin something like that I'm going to providing, and it is wait, and this is my class attribute. Okay, you can see there is a class attribute here, it is there. Okay, we'll take this one. Okay, I'm going to take this context, and using that my tag name as a p paragraph 1. Okay, and I'm going to use for my class which we are not used in the earlier dot a text. Okay, and making as the end, and another one is def success. Okay, at the rate before, sorry, browser, and I'll use for one thing, if I use for admin 123, the URL will change. Okay, it will be a dashboard, right? The dashboard I need to verify if the including that particular dashboard have this particular URL dashboard, then that particular uh, user is able to logged in while you is provided for success message. For this what I can do, right? Browser dot URL dot include, and here I can use for question mark, two open braces, and then I'm going to use for single quotation, inside that I'm providing for my value. This will indicate that whether it is presented or not in a browser. If it is presented, then our test case got success. Okay, and then see now we are created, but and class also we need to end. One thing you have to remember, this all the things in the class, inside the class, the end class started and also ended. Like curly braces we are using right in Java, the similar format curly brace end also. If you are not providing end, it will think you are something you're searching type. Okay, then our script will be keep on loop there only. or sometimes it will not be run also. Okay, login underscore spec I'll create. Okay, spec.rb. Okay, in this login we are going to run our logs. Okay, this is required for helper class. Okay, which is the helpers we have, right? This particular helper, this helper is required, and I'm going to use for that helper, and you have to give that exact name what you have given, otherwise it will not work. Okay, and then we need to use for, there is a describe block, describe, and then we can use for login with login orange hrm. Okay, and we can use for do functionality. For this we need to mark it as a end first. Okay, otherwise you can forget. Then we need to use the first test case. Test case is become a okay, with the similar format of Cypress and Playwright. Playwright and all it is for test, and here we are going to use for it. Okay, and here login with the valid credential. Okay, valid credential, and then we use for do end. Okay, first we need to use for at the rate login underscore page dot visit. Okay, this is my visit, and then again we are going to use for at the rate login page dot login. Okay, and here we are going to use for admin, which we have already created one, this one, and second one is admin 1 to 3. Okay, and then we need to use for expect at the rate login page dot success. Okay, to be true. Okay, now this is the one we have set up. Okay, we'll try to run this particular file. Okay, bundle dot execute dot rspecs, or you can able to use for rs spec, which is a locator we have, like file location we have to use spec slash login underscore spec dot rb. We need to wait. Yes, browser is open, but it is closed. Okay, I think it got somewhere something, but it is opened 100% perfectly, but it is not ran. Okay, okay, and here, okay, we are in the browser location. Okay, we'll do one thing. Login, maybe it is not able to identify. We'll do require require underscore relatives, like I'm going to initiating for my login file as well. Okay, here itself I'm going to do slash pages slash login underscore login underscore page. Okay, this is my page, and here I'm going to use for what I can do, right, at the rate login page is equal to login page dot new. What I'm doing, right here, I'm creating an object. First time itself, I'm going to give the reference of browser. Okay, browser itself I'm going to providing here. We'll see. Yes, it is open now. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now we are able to open the browser, and here report it is there. Okay, we'll go ahead and see that report whether it is passed or not. We don't know. Yes, but it is not able to click on submit, but it is able to provide for undefined button for null. Oh, sorry. Okay, I got it, the problem. See, all are browsers, and here I used for before. Naming convention is problem. Now again I'm running. Report will be look like that. Okay. Now open. It is provided for username and password, and click the submit, and it is loading. Yes, dashboard also it is presented. It's successed. Okay. Now we are able to do for success things, and whether it is success or not, you can able to send the report. See, a green color came. Now, if you want to do for validation of invalid case, now we are done for invalid as well, right? Inside that, here, what we can do, I'll copy this, okay, and I'm going to keeping for down, okay. Now here, login with invalid credentials, and I'll use for admin only, okay. Now here I need to validate for error message, right? For this here, it is not at the rate success. We are going to do for error message. Okay. And to include, I will use, okay, include. Then we can invalid credential is become a just will get for that error message which we need to validate. This is my invalid credentials. I'll take this one and I'll keep it into my single quotation. Okay. Now we'll run for this. Again, I'm running. This time it will run for two. One is positive case and another one is invalid case. Now it is running for positive case. And it is now it is running for second invalid case purpose. Okay, both got success. And if you go ahead and see here, report, see both the cases are pass. In this is a simple HTML report. In case if you want extended report or allo report, any kind of things, please ping into this particular video. I'll make for that also. Okay. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe and share to your friends and colleagues. Thank you.